going to talk about 3 simple visibility strategy to attract your clients. Now, some of them may appear to be like, Michelle, I already know this. To your point, yes, you might have already know about this, but are you actually implementing it? Are you taking action step in moving towards that visibility? So there's a lot of us who's on social media, we're going in person, and I know a lot of my clients, they are not a big fan of social. Social is very busy and it's a noisy place. But I love the connection that you can make on social, which is like nowhere else before, right? Because if I were to do in person, then chances are it's only locally, right? I can only serve a smaller community within my area. Now, if you look at the opportunity that you have on social media, then you can definitely reach out to more people. But reaching out to more people means that it comes with more challenges about the fact that a lot of time you have to fight for people's attention. And social media is a very busy place. Whether you use it for business or not, it's a very busy place, right? There's a lot of noise and there's a lot of different people sharing, coming in and jumping into your feed. So imagine your potential client who's sitting on the receiver end, they're seeing all these busy stuff. So it makes perfect sense, right? I don't want to say that it's not a great place to promote your business. It's a great place to promote your business, to be honest, right? That's how I built my business. But if you are someone who struggle or who finds social media just not very attractive and you don't want to be on there, there's a better way of doing it. And I'm going to talk about later strategy number 3 of how you can actually shift away from social. But to the fact, so my point is you have basically 2 ways to be visible. You can stay on social or you can do it in person, which limits a lot of your location, right? Your location would be limited. You probably start with the community first and within your area, and maybe you'll be able to expand to other community in your area. So there's 2 ways to be visible. You can do it online or you can do it in person. Now, it all sounds very obvious, right? But what is the strategy behind how to get visible and how to get clients? So, strategy number 1, and I told you this is going to be obvious, but have you take action step to actually implementing it? One of the things I learned early on in my business is I need to talk to people. Where are my people? If you think about, your people are everywhere. Your people are everyday people that the moment that you wake up, that you go out, those are your opportunity. The next person that you meet could be your perfect client, right? And forget about sitting down and trying to figure out what your niche is. If you're someone who, I want a coaching client now and I need a coaching client now, then forget about sitting behind your desk and trying to figure out what is your niche. Don't do that, because then you're just wasting your time trying to figure out and going around in circle like that niche is not good enough, that niche is not aligned, oh, that doesn't sound good. Forget about the niche. If you need and you want client, what you want to do is you want to get out and start having conversation. And where do your conversation come from? So your strategy number 1 is what I used to set 5 strangers. Okay. I would set on my calendar, on my goal, I need to talk to 5 strangers per day. I was very ambitious. So I set a goal of talking to 5 strangers a day. So I would challenge you to do the same, right? Talking to 5 new people you have never met, no conversation whatsoever, every single day. Now, with these 5 people, what you want to do is you want to keep a tally, keep a spreadsheet. I'm a spreadsheet person. So I will keep a spreadsheet of these 5 new people that I'm talking to, okay, every single day. If you want a business, if you want to have coaching clients in the next 90 days, this is what I'm going to challenge you to do. I'm going to challenge you to talk to 5 new people every single day. Yeah, where do you find those 5 people? And can I find them without a niche? That's what you're asking. That's what is coming up in your mind, right? Am I right? Drop into the chat, you're right, or a fire emoji if I say I talked about your hesitation. What about the niche? What do I talk to them? I got you. I got you covered. It's coming. Okay. So drop an emoji if that's what you're thinking, that I need to have a niche in order to talk to them. No, you don't, my friend. One of the best strategy I noticed, and starting from my own coaching business, is that when I go to a coffee shop or on a Zoom call, or I'm waiting in line in, well, Target or Marshall or any place that you are staying in the line, Costco, whatever, what you want to do is you want to look around and start a conversation with people. I know it's very uncomfortable and almost feels like strange to a lot of you out there, right? What do you mean striking a conversation? No, I can't talk to stranger. No, that's exactly what I want you to do. I'm going to challenge you to talk to 5 strangers, whether you're at a coffee shop, on a Zoom call, or in line waiting to get the checkout. Whatever that you do, the next person behind you, okay, you're gonna strike a conversation with them. Start with the small talk. We all get comfortable with the small talk. Maybe you notice something. Oh, start having that conversation, right? Once you strike the conversation, it becomes easier. Initially, it would just be a casual small talk, and then you can go into, oh, what is it that you do? Oh, I'm a life coach, I'm a mindset coach, I'm a leadership coach. And then you can talk about what do you do, right? So start getting into that conversation. And somewhere along that conversation, what I want you to remember is to embed or to remember to talk about, oh, I help women building more confidence so that they can let go of that negativity and imposter syndrome so they can actually wake up in the morning and feel happy about what they got. Easy, right? So I didn't go into what is my niche. I just went into the conversation for the person in front of me. And maybe it's a busy mom who's trying to juggle with all these different things. I just told her that, hey, I can help you. I hinted her by having that conversation. I help women to who are juggling among all these different things to have a way of organizing and staying productive and don't feel bad about themselves when things go wrong. And so that's a simple line that you can share, especially if you're doing life coaching and mindset coaching. It was so easy to get into conversation nowadays because a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff and you wouldn't know what they're going through until you actually have conversation with them. And this is probably the best opportunity for a lot of you out there, life coaches, mindset coaches, because people are going through a lot of stuff. And if you can let your guard down and just put yourself in front of them and get into that conversation, I promise you, it's going to be so easy to have that person reaching out back to you and say, hey, we met at a Target and I would like to learn more about what you do. Okay, that's a conversation I want you to get into. So I'm going to challenge you 5 strangers every single day. Okay. And this is something that you're going to hold yourself accountable. I'm going to have 5 conversations with strangers every single day. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take every opportunity that I can have to introduce myself as a coach to them. Okay. And so that when time comes around, they might not hire you on the spot. I'm not saying that they're going to hire you on the spot, right? I'm saying that you have just seeded an idea for them. And hopefully, if you talk long enough, you might even exchange number. Now, the good thing about giving it an opportunity and to introduce yourself like that is you also get to practice your pitch line. Okay. So a lot of you are sitting behind the desk and you have that I help statement, but you're sitting with the I help statement, you're not putting into practice. So the great thing about this strategy number one is it forces you to actually talk to the stranger and practice that I help statement so that you feel comfortable. It becomes second nature to you that would just roll off your tongue when you talk about yourself, when you introduce yourself. Okay, so that's strategy number one, visibility. Simple. Everybody should know about this, but are we all doing it? Probably not. Okay, so strategy number one. What was strategy number one? Put it down in the comment. Talk to 5 strangers a day. Okay, put it into the comment. If you're watching this replay, I want you to do the same, right? Put it into the comment. Talk to 5 strangers a day. And you're going to track it. You're going to hold yourself accountable. And if you are doing it, I want you to come back to the group and I want you to share a win. Did you do it? Okay. This is not a watch and forget kind of thing. So once you watch it, you're up here. I want you to actually do it and come back and share that you did it. All right. So that's strategy number 1. Strategy number 2. Okay, ready for this? Strategy number 2 is similar to strategy number 1. Okay, getting yourself visible. The more practice that you have, the more chance that you have in front of people, the more people that knows about your coaching business, about you as a coach, it becomes easier. So strategy number 2 to be visible, very simple, is offer your free coaching advice freely. Okay. Offer your free coaching advice freely, but smartly. What do I mean by that? A lot of coaches I work with have this assumption of I am a coach and therefore I don't give advice. And because I don't give advice, then I can't really get into that conversation. So they will know, and I don't feel comfortable about introducing myself. So, how do you introduce yourself? So, think about this. Okay. When you are out in the market and the client, your prospects, has not signed up with you yet, they're not your clients. They're just everyday people trying to go through their day, trying to manage everything that's in front of them. Maybe they're struggling, maybe something is very challenging, maybe they're going through some stuff. And here you are, you have the perfect skill, you have the perfect knowledge, but yet that idea of I cannot give advice is stopping you from helping that person. That's not cool. Okay, to me, that is not cool, especially if you have the skill, you have the knowledge, share it freely, especially before they become your clients. Once they become your clients, you have a coach and client agreement, right? There's a contract, there's an agreement. You go into that coach client relationship. At that point, you can no longer hold your own agenda. You cannot say to client, I think you should do X, Y, and Z, right? Client has all the answer once they enter that coach client agreement and coach client relationship. But prior to that, and this is where a lot of coaches are struggling with marketing, because when marketing, a lot of what you do is sharing the resource, right? What are the resources? It's giving advice, it's sharing what worked and sharing what they might want to try. So I know it's a dilemma for some of the coaches out there, and you're thinking, isn't that unethical? It's unethical when you start bringing the advice into your coach and client relationship. But when you are just spreading the message, building a brand, creating that marketing, going through this visibility marketing strategies, there is no violation of ethics in here. Right? You're just sharing the message, you're sharing the what worked, and you can even be really transparent. This is what have worked for me. Maybe it will work for you too, right? You can tell people that. You can be transparent about that. And a lot of time when you see me sharing, that's exactly what I do. This have worked for me and this had worked for my clients, and maybe it will work for you too, right? You're not saying that I'm promising you this is will work for you. What you're saying is that it had worked for me, right? I'm going to show you the skill and I'm going to walk you through it. And as we explore together, maybe you come up with even better strategy or better skills or better way of resolving this. I don't know. I can't promise you, but I can show you how I did it, right? So, giving away free coaching advice is something that you can do 2 ways. You can do it in person. So, anytime strategy number 1 was talking to five people, right? What do you talk about? Your coaching advice. Ask them about what's going on in their life. And a lot of times you'll hear that how's that working out for you? Maybe they're doing some exercise, or maybe they're getting some weight loss program. This is March. Yeah, March. So a lot of people are trying to get onto the weight loss program. I just signed myself up to the Pilates. I just came off from my Pilates class. And so There's a lot of things that's going on at the moment, and you can just simply ask, so how's that going for you? And most people will share how it's going. It's all right. And you can ask, well, tell me more. And in that sense, you start getting more deeper and deeper conversation by just standing there and coaching that person without telling them that I'm actually asking a lot of the coaching questions that would be helpful to understand, what you're struggling with. So question like, how's that working for you? And you will get people to start having conversation with you. It's working out great, but I really like this, right? So start listening, start talking to people. So that was strategy number 2, give away your coaching advice freely and but smartly, right? You don't want to keep giving out the free coaching advice, but at the same time, you don't want to hold back, because how is people going to know that you are so good at what you do, right? So you wanted to make sure that you make a point. Now, that is how you do it in person. Now, how do you do it in an online world? In an online world, it's almost the same, right? You'll probably have joined a lot of different groups. You'll probably join some of the groups where your ideal clients are hanging out. So you go into the group and you will look at what everybody else is posting and sharing and what people are struggling with. There's always, I cannot tell you how many times I go to a Facebook group and there's always somebody asking questions, right? Just because there's 100 comments already, it should not stop you from sharing what have worked for you. So drop your comment in there and just give it out freely. And that's how a lot of you had found me and joined this group, because you probably saw me somewhere else or grab my free resources, and that's how you got into this group. I will go around to make a point on a daily basis that I'm going to have a conversation with this coach. If that person is asking question, I'm going to share everything that I know with that coach, what had worked, right? There's no pitch behind it. I'm just going to answer that question. And that is what I meant by giving away your free coaching advice freely. Whether that person come and follow you, that's up to them, right? Up to them to decide, I really like what you share, I'm going to come and follow you. But same rule apply in an online world where you can do the same by commenting on your people's questions and just help them answer, help them resolve it, make it easier for them. Okay, what was strategy number 1? Strategy number 1, okay, go ahead and put it down in the comment if you're watching this as a replay. This is holding yourself accountable, right? Strategy number 1 is to talk to 5 strangers a day, okay, 5 strangers a day. And strategy number 2 is when you speak to these 5 strangers, what you want to do is give your free coaching advice freely but also smartly. Okay. At one point, you're going to feel this. One point in that conversation, you're going to feel that it would be better if we just have a call. It would be better if we just set up a time so that you and I can talk more about this. You'll feel the conversation. Okay. Let it be natural. And rather than, oh, I need to invite that person to a discovery call. No, you don't. Okay. No, you don't. You want to make it natural. So in your conversation, as it flow, at one point, you're going to feel that it would be much efficient and better to invite that person to a call. And by then, you can say, would it be okay with you to come and let's talk more about it? And that would be the time you share your calendar and all that. That's for another video we'll do. Okay, so that was strategy number 2. Give your coaching advice, right? Put it into the comment. Strategy number 2, give your coaching advice freely but smartly. All right, strategy number 3 is how to get visibility, right? Easy way to get visibility so that you can get those high paying clients. Strategy number 3 is you can pitch yourself to be a guest in 3 different places this month. That's what I want you to do, okay? Pitch yourself to be a guest whether it's a podcast, a summit, or a community. Maybe it's a community that you go to all the time. Maybe it's a gym. I pitched to a gym when I first started out, and I just went up to the owner. And here's someone had asked, "How do you pitch?" Doris had asked. She's looking for ways to pitch. How do you pitch? So earlier I talked about strategy number one and strategy number two, right? Strategy number one is about getting into conversation. So once you have that conversation, strike a conversation with that person. And in that conversation, you want to come back a circle of, so what do you do? This is what I do. We always talk about, even in this small talk, we always talk about what we do and not about who we are, strangely. So when you talk about what you do, you can weave in the fact that I am also looking for places where I can do a workshop, or I'm looking for places where I can host a webinar, right? Or I'm looking for places where I can be on a podcast. So there's all these different lines that you can weave into your conversation that that does not feel invasive, but it suggests that these are the things that you're looking for. And you have to do a direct ask. Okay, no matter who you're talking to, you need to do an ask, direct ask, and just say, who do you know that might be able to connect me to a podcast? Very simple line, right? It's not invasive. I'm just asking for help. And the help I need is I would like to be on a podcast that focus on personal development, for example. I would like to be on a podcast that focus on business or marketing. So depending on what you're asking, you just straight up and tell them, ask them, who do you know that would connect me to? And they may not be able to connect you right there that minute, but as you're building that relationship with them, they're going to come back and they're going to remember you that, oh, Michelle was looking for a podcast to be on that talk about marketing and business. Oh, I know this place. So they'll remember and come back to you. So, how do you pitch to these places? You basically weave in and it becomes part of your, again, this is why strategy number one work, right? Because you want to have those practices with conversation with people so that every time you have a conversation, it becomes natural just introducing yourself. So pitch yourself to be on a guest in three new places. Now you can choose podcast, you can choose a community, a community that you belong to. Maybe it's a place that you go regularly. Those would be great places to share your resource. I did a workshop when I first started, and this is totally a true story. I did a workshop for all the personal trainers inside a gym that I used to go train. And what did I share? So basically, I went up to the owner. I said, hey, I'm a coach now, and I got certified as a coach. Would it be okay if I use your space to do a program, right? Do a webinar or it was a lecture, it was a presentation for your personal trainer to help them to grow their business. And what did I share? I share leadership. I share leadership presentation. So I graduated from iPad coaching and we have this energy leadership framework, right? So I did that presentation inside a gym in front of personal trainers. So there's a lot of different way that you can pitch and make it easy and make it simple. Now, the good thing about the community that you go to and it makes it easier to pitch is because people already know you, right? People know you, so they feel more comfortable having you doing your presentation. So think about what are some of the places that you can go and connect with other or ask, do a direct ask. So your visibility strategy number three is you're going to pitch yourself to be a guest in three new places this month. That should be easy, right? Talking to five strangers a day, that might be hard, that you might put some energy to it. Strategy number two is that you're going to offer, right, in your conversation, you're going to offer these coaching advice so that people can benefit, people can learn from you. And strategy for visibility number three is you're going to pitch to three new places this month. Okay, those are easy, right? So if you're watching a replay, drop it into the comment. Three visibility strategy. One is talking to 5 strangers every single day. Strategy number 2 is go ahead and give advice freely, right? Be helpful, actually be helpful. And strategy number 3 is to pitch yourself to be a guest in 3 new places this month. Okay. All right. So once you start pitching and start getting into conversation, one of the things you might start to realize is that getting into the right room, getting in front of the right audience, and getting speaking just to the right person makes a whole lot of your life easy. Because if you think about it, a lot of what we do on social, it's about filtering through what would be our ideal client, who would be our ideal client, where do we find them, and what if my message is just getting lost altogether? What if I don't have a niche altogether? Then it becomes a big struggle and hustle. So if you have not already signed up and registered to my 3-day masterclass training series that's coming up next week, I am releasing my first video coming out on Monday. And this masterclass, I completely redid it. It's a new videos that I've not done before. So 3 new training videos coming to you starting on Monday, and it's about getting high paying clients without the social media. Okay, without the social media. If you love the social media, it's great. It's actually a complement to what you're doing in person and also what you do with how do you get in front of people. But if you don't love social media, there is a better way. And I'm going to show you during the 3-day masterclass. So if you want to join, there's a link. I'm going to drop a link in the comment down below so that you can go ahead and register. It's very easy. It's easy to remember. Just go to getclientsandSpeakingGigs.com and you'll be able to sign up to the 3-day masterclass training series. And these videos are only available when you join, and I'm going to send it to you, so there's no scrambling around when is it and where's the link to go live. I want to take all that hassle away from you because our life is busy. I totally get it. So you got to register in order to access these video. Okay. So get clients and speakinggigs.com. And what I'm going to show you and teach you during the 3-day training series is number one, posting constantly on social, it's not the answer, right? You see me busy and you see me on social all the time, but I really enjoy doing it. I love doing it, right? But a lot of you, I know you don't like to do it and you don't love it. When you don't love to do it, then chances are you're going that inconsistency. That consistency is important, not just in how you posting it, when you post it, and whether or not you are posting it. It also is a consistency of your messaging, your brand. There's so many things and moving pieces that comes into play behind that, right? So if you don't love it, then what would be a better way? So I'm going to teach you the better way in the masterclass training series. I'm also going to talk about some of the mistakes that a lot of coaches are making that keeps you stuck on the social and feeling that your business is not moving, but it's not your fault. It's literally not your fault. And I go into a lot detail in terms of like what is going on in the landscape of social media and how can you actually break away from it with this better way of doing it, right? And I'm also going to talk about the signature blueprint that will get you in front of the right audience in the right room with the right message so that you can stop chasing them. I feel like a lot of us are chasing our clients around day in and day out, right? But they're nowhere to be found. So I'm going to show you all that in the upcoming 3-day masterclass training series, Get Clients and SpeakingGigs.com. If you have not signed up yet, go ahead and go and sign up. And the first video is coming to you on Monday next week. All right, I'm going to wrap up. And so we talked about the 3 easy, super easy, like surprisingly easy way of getting visible, right? Set an agenda. I can talk all day long about the strategies and all these stuff, right? You can do, but they're only going to work if you implement them. So this week, I'm going to challenge you. It's Wednesday already. So this week, I'm going to challenge you to talk to 5 strangers a day. Okay. And every conversation, whether it's in a coffee shop, on a Zoom call, or you're waiting in line in a grocery store, get to know the person next to you, say hello, small talk. And if you have that opportunity, always mention what you do. Okay, that's going to plant the seed, and someone is going to be curious. That especially if you go to a grocery store, like I go to Trader Joe all the time, and there's so many people that I talk to in Trader Joe that I would go back and I would run into them again and again because it's in my community. And so you wanted to see the fact that this is what you do, and that will get the conversation going. Not only that, you get to practice, right? So that was simple, surprisingly simple, 5 strangers per day. And the strategy number two is you want to give your advice. Before they signed up with you, they're just your prospect. They're just everyday people trying to go through the day without big challenge and struggle. So give your coaching advice freely. Once they get into your coach and client relationship, then you're bound by the ethics, right? You're bound by the ethic. And that point, clients have all the answer. You're just there to facilitate so that they can find the answer. But before that, go ahead and give your resource, give your advice freely. Okay. Strategy number three is you're going to pitch yourself to 3 new places. 3 new places this month, April, because we're already at the end of March, right? So April, you're gonna pitch yourself into 3 places. And also, don't forget to come and join me next week during the masterclass training class. I have 3 new videos that's coming out to you, and they're going to show you exactly how do you get those high paying clients to be in the right room at the right place so that it becomes easy for you.